Just turn that off so it's a little bit more quiet in here. Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Just Bess here today. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, which is like little shorter videos about like specific topics. Just because there are always so many questions about living this way, and I think sometimes if you watch our vlog, slowly but surely you put things together and how things work for us. But sometimes it's also nice to just hear straightforward like what it's like. I'm not going to overcommit myself, but I do want to put out at least these mini videos every other week. And first topic, I wanted to talk about van life and mental health. Mental health is a topic that I have always been extremely passionate about. I've worked professionally in the industry for most of my adult life in terms of how I've made my money and how I spent my time and what I wanted my life to be dedicated to. And so I do have lived experience, but also some professional experience about the world of mental health and all the things that go along with that topic. I think it's a really important topic, as this month is a suicide awareness month, and also with everything going on with the news about like Gabby Petito and just the topics of mental health that's come up from that, but also just mental health also that came up when beloved van life blogger Lee Macmillan completed suicide back in end of March-ish, which shook the whole van life community up and everyone who knew her. And so yeah, and I want to be as authentic as possible and speak on things that I can confidently speak about. I just wanted to share with y'all like my experience with I think mental health and living in a van. I think like many of you, I really romanticized the idea of living in a van prior to actually living in a van. You see it on pictures, you see it through other people's vlogs, like this really sense of escapism. There we go. Escapism, wanderlust, carefree, like, you know, mindset, and all those things are attractive, and those elements are very true of van life. But also I think there's this notion that like van life will fix all your problems, or you know, and I just want to speak to that because I definitely went into van life knowing that it would not fix my problems. Something that I've repeated over and over and over again has been the idea that if anything, it'll amplify all the great things that are great about you in your life, and it'll also amplify the things that are not great about you in your life. And so I just want to speak on that because while and just to be completely transparent, like I've always struggled with depression and really newly anxiety in the past handful of years, which has been more prominent for me, I think anxiety. So what's so funny, I think, in my observations about my experience being on the road, I think the ever-changing scenery of things, the novelty, the sense of adventure has really helped with my depression. But in the same breath, I think it's added on to my anxiety because living this way can be really instill this lack of structure in your life. There's always this sense of, you know, figuring out where you're gonna sleep, and safety issues, and weather surprises, and there's so many factors that go into living this way that can be anxiety provoking. And for the most part, I've approached it with like, oh, this is just a sense of challenge that I'm going to take on. But there have definitely been some hard days and times between me and Blix where we're fighting, and we're like bringing up stuff from whatever, thinking about it's about that, but it's really because, oh my gosh, like the place we thought we were going to sleep that night isn't safe, and we're so tired, but we have to like drive and keep finding somewhere else, you know? So I definitely think your environment can contribute to being symptomatic in a lot of different ways, and that's why it's so important to, I think, be diligent about like your self-care routine, whatever that may look like. So that's the first thing I'll say. That's number one. Number one is that moving into a van will not fix your problems, and if anything, you must prioritize your mental health in order for this lifestyle to be sustainable. So some of the ways that Blix and I have done that has been joining a gym. We have invested money in getting a membership at Orange Theory to prioritize moving our bodies. Because we do a lot of city van lifing, we're not always out and about doing hikes and stuff. And so sometimes we can be cooped up in the van, like in the city. And so making sure that there's a space for us to be able to sweat it out has been extremely helpful. Another thing is journaling, and we're both sober, so we do AA meetings or talk to our sponsors and stuff like that. That's something that we do to protect our mental health. Another thing that we do, especially as vloggers, is we really just do what we can. You know, we really try not to push ourselves to like do things just because we want you to be entertained. While we want you to be entertained, we definitely don't want to do things that are not just us, not us, you know. While we appreciate the views and the comments and the growth of our channel, from the very beginning, we've both been very adamant that like our mental health and our well-being is not worth any of that. No offense. But I think that's one thing that's definitely has helped us be sustainable in vlogging about this experience and sharing it online. It's just that we just do what we can and we share with y'all as authentically as possible. So that's been really great for me, especially as the one who's primarily filming and editing our vlogs. I'm committed to it, and I love seeing our life on YouTube and just to be able to look back on it. But definitely we have learned from other people who have taken breaks, and you know, can see definitely how once, you know, you get going, there can be some pressure and keep going, you know. So it's a marathon, not a race. We believe in that. I just think in general it's really important to share about the beauty and the wanderlust and the excitement and the joys of being able to travel and live this way. But it's also important to share about the experiences of the things that are not really great about it, right? It's and maybe Blix can talk about it another time in another video, but something that we learned about Blix is like Blix really, it helps for them to have regular showers. That helps with their mental health, you know. And I'm someone who can, like, that's the thing, I can go a little longer without showering and be fine, but Blix really thrives when they have access to a shower every day, ideally. So making sure that Blix can get that, so they can feel fresh and good, is something that we have learned how to do, you know, just prioritizing that for them. Like something for me is, you know, because Blix works a job Monday through Friday, like 9 to 5, and I don't, you know, sometimes it feels like we are in different worlds. And even though I have the time to be able to maybe go and explore and such, Blix can't, right? So the balance around that and learning how to communicate, like, you know, I'm on their schedule Monday through Friday, you know? So a compromise has been, you know, usually we'll wake up in the morning, Blix will take the dogs out on a walk, I'll put the bed away and, you know, get this all into lounge mode or office mode so they can have their work day, and then I'm, you know, just doing van wife stuff which is totally fun. But you know, some days sometimes I maybe don't feel well and I want to be in bed, but our bed is also Blix's office, right? So sometimes Blix is really sweet and they'll, you know, let me keep this in bed mode and they'll work from the bed. So that's been fun. So little things that, you know, kind of go a long way to help each other out. It's like little compromises, right? It's yeah, I just think that, and again, I think that if you are someone who is interested in living this way, it's really learning what works for you, right? Van life can look different for everybody depending on the type of rig you have, um, your capacity to be able to travel, whatever it is. Like, I think that, like, the one thing I know for sure is that what works for us may not be what works for you or is best for you. So that's been a learning curve for me as well, as someone who consumes a lot of social media and consumes other people's content and lives because I'm genuinely interested. I've had to learn that, I love learning new things and tips and tricks from how other people do things, but ultimately, like, you just got to figure out what's best for you. And I really want to encourage that for those who are watching our channel. And it's like, oh, well, Blix and Bess do that. Like, yeah, we do that, and if that works for you, great. But it's not the end all be all, And yeah, I just want to highlight that like this lifestyle can look different for everybody, and the way we do it is not the only way or the right way. But that said, I've certainly have had my days of being very down, and they've been hard, and it's hard to be in a tiny space it's hard to live in a tiny space going through that, and you know in such close proximity to your partner, and everything we do affects each other's intensely because we're so close to each other all the time, and with the dogs, there's so many contributing factors and moving parts to how one person's mood can affect the space, right? Even living in a regular home or just being out and about, you can see how everyone's just vibing differently, right? And how that can impact each other. So, I don't know. I just want to talk about, I think that I hope we do a pretty good job in balancing, like, the fun things that we do, the mundane things that we do. It's not just about the reality of van life, because the reality of van life can be extremely adventurous and fun and picturesque. It absolutely can. But it also can be very normal, boring, like, gross, mundane, not romantic at all. And I think I showed you in our last video, like, changing out the poop bucket, like, y'all can just flush your toilets and your poop goes bye-bye, but we have to put it in a trash bag and deal with it every couple weeks or so. A couple other practices that have been helpful, that again have been practices, I haven't been able to be completely consistent with them, but it can be as simple as, like, making myself a cup of tea at night to wind down. I definitely have some issues with, like, scrolling on social media, which Blix has been on my booty about. And so just minimizing my screen time, meditating, whether it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, that has always helped me. Journaling, connecting with family, or just picking up the phone and calling someone that I've been thinking about, and just saying, hey, how are you, and connecting with them and getting outside of myself. Like, these are, like, very normal, simple things that I've had to do in order for, to take care of my mental health while living on the road. It's not all about the highs and lows of that next best spot or that great view or that great snapshot I can take on my phone to post on Instagram, or the great drone shot I can show you on the vlog. While those things are artistically fun for me to do, and that's why I do them, ultimately, like, you can't live, and I can't say you can't, but I can't live van life solely for those highs, because those highs aren't every day. And this is our home, and sometimes people don't really understand that this little tin can is our home. Like, everything that we own is in here, and so making it homey has been extremely important. Like, lighting incense, lighting candles, cleaning it every day, even being protective about, like, you know, sometimes we have our sliding door open and people want to see the van, and we know that's exciting, but sometimes just saying I'm so sorry, like, not right now, you know, because it is our home and we want to be protective. You know, people don't just go up to any house and be like, hey, can I take a peek in your house, you know? So it's that balance of knowing that people get excited when they see like a van and wanting to like be open and sharing about it, but also depending on what's going on for us, being like, so sorry, like, not this time, right? But surely even having some fur friends in the van has baby but having fur friends, definitely having Baby and Deccan with us, has just allowed us to feel good, right? They give us cuddles and distract us from our feelings. And nothing like animal therapy. Right, baby? So, which was great when I was back in the Bay Area. I got to connect with my doctor, and I got prescribed some antidepressants, just knowing that we're going into fall and winter, and I do struggle with depression, especially seasonal ones, especially as the sun time gets more limited and colder. While I love all the cozy weather, I know it affects my mental health, and so just doing some preventative things to take care of myself so that I can continue being happy, not just in life, but living this way. And I just think it's really important to talk about it. But with that said, folks, I just wanted to hop on this topic and just normalize the conversation about mental health in general, but also just mental health in the van life scene and community. Engaging in the conversation is really important, because even if you're not struggling with yourself, I guarantee you there is someone in your life that is, and to know that you're someone who can talk about that, share about that. Also, like, breaking the bubble around van life being a perfect way, or this, you know, always nice, great thing, is just, you know, again, just balancing the narrative a little bit more, I think, is really important, especially in this community, and especially for folks who watch our content. And while I think a lot of folks may watch van life stuff to experience some escapism and wanderlust and visit new places and stuff with us, I think that's awesome, but also not duping all of y'all to think that it's like that all the time, because it is not. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope this series of just more niche topics will be something y'all like. And if there's any specific topic that you want me or Blix or both of us to talk about, leave them in the comments below. And if it's something that we can talk about, we definitely will. I really hope you enjoyed this little ramble. And as I think I do these shorter series, I think I'll figure out more of a rhythm around how to present the topics that we decide to talk about. If you enjoyed the video, please give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or thoughts about this topic, please leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't already and you're new to our channel, if you've been watching but you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel, because it really does help us out, and it helps other people find our channel and content, and we really appreciate that. And if you are struggling yourself or know someone who is, I'm going to leave some resources down in our description box that have helped me and my journey around mental health. Again, there's no shame about talking about it. The more we talk about it, you never know whose life you might be saving. This is something that we all struggle with, whether or not we want to admit it. So let's keep the conversation going, and take care of each other. All right. See you soon. Bye.